Right.
Uh,
Let's move.
yeah, good morning, Ajith sir and Vimla ma'am. I welcome you to Curious Times session for the special edition that we are taking out for Teachers' Day. The objective is to honor the
Right.
teachers and all the effort that they have put in over the past 6 months. The pandemic actually also caused a lot of changes in how the education needs to reach the students. And it's also been a journey which required a lot of effort from teachers because it was a shift in the way schools were there versus like lack of school structure to online studying by children, and a lot of effort that has gone by teachers into this process. It's been a roller coaster for them. So here we will be discussing a few things, how the Choice School has done, that journey, how the teachers did of Choice School undertook that journey, and what were the decisions that you all made. So welcome
Right.
to the session. Welcome, ma'am. So I
Thank
think
you.
we would like to understand, like, when March happened, what did really happen at your school? Like, what were the things that came your way? Like, now what are we going to do? So help us from the journey, when and what started.
Right. March by 9th, I think we had to close our school owing to the state regulations in Kerala.
Okay.
And as you would know, most of the Kerala schools closed by March 31st.
Right.
And prior to that, perhaps by third week, we were planning to wind up for the academic year. So we would have lost the final 2 weeks of student engagement. But we were expecting that these things would be coming up. And in a way, we do have our systems in place with regard to the smart boards facility to record and stream our lessons. So our first option was to, look into the updating of matters with regard to the smart boards, and we were prepared for that to stream online lessons to all our students from the school. But since it was the fag end of the academic year and the lockdown got stricter, we were okay by the fact that we had to close for the academic year early and compute all our marks with regard to all the previous examinations. And of course, the central government decision was to ensure that everyone moved on to the next class, irrespective of how they were, but in a very positive tone for people to move up their class for the new academic year. So it wasn't a problem as such for the continuity, but then we had to be prepared for the coming months. The whole lockdown nationwide came up on March 25th, and thereafter we were using the holiday time to prepare ourselves on how we need to equip the school for this kind of a situation when we reopen in the month of June.
Right. So you were hoping that things would happen by June and we'll be reopening the schools and then.
Sorry?
I'm saying that you hoped that things would be smooth by June and the schools will reopen in June.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we didn't expect the schools to reopen in June. What I meant to say is we understood that even teachers cannot come to the school to utilize the smart board facility.
Right.
All we could do now is to see how best teachers could carry out the lessons from home, and how best our students could be equipped to get into a totally new way of learning.
Right.
So that preparation had to be done, and we started the Zoom video conferences, the lessons via the Zoom facility that we started in the month of April itself, for the senior students to support them, because our senior students were doing their examinations. and we were getting a feel of how to go about the Zoom classes for the students, and that naturally trickled down to all the classes by June. We were equipping our learning management portal, the software system also to be capable to accommodate the needs of the hour in June. So we do have our LMS support at school, coupled with the Zoom, and we also adopted the Google Classroom for the month of June. Uh, and I think Vimla could talk about more about how we have also adopted the Seesaw program for the kindergarten and the primary school. So over to Vimla for that.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Ms. Deepthi. Thank you for the opportunity to you have this conversation. One thing that I would look at is our teachers' agility. Something that we could very clearly bang on is their ability to adapt to suddenly changing circumstances and to know how and when to seize an opportunity amid a changing landscape. That's what we felt with our teachers. They during the vacation, we would say that teachers barely had their vacation this year because it was completely a training period, and to look out for the various platforms to accommodate the changing need. So it is how to look at synchronous and asynchronous form of learning, and the teachers to step up to the changing needs. When you're looking at, that's when they felt the need to be virtually available, where in the classrooms it's their comfort zone, the space that they have, the children that they have. They've never seen the empty classrooms. But now today it is the empty classrooms with just the chairs in physical form, but teachers now kind of remote from that and looking into a complete ambience where they see the children only on the screen. So that was a hard reality for them, but they had to adapt to that and they were willing. And that's where the agility will have to be appreciated. Now, teachers were willing to rise to the occasion, and the only thing is they needed that assurance and the direction. So we were ready to give them that assurance and the direction by introducing them to various platforms. Yes, the most convenient and the comfortable form of the platform was the Zoom. We had not thoroughly explored the Google Classroom. So Zoom came handy, where we initially tried it in the school with our sensor board. But when, as Ajith said it, Mr. Ajith had put it clearly that we cannot have the teachers come to school, nor the children come to the school. So we learned a lot of things through the sensor board, and we started classes through the sensors board from the school. Later on, the teachers had to get into their own gadgets, their own appliances, and start with the Zoom. So moving from the phone to the laptop to the tablets or whichever appliance that they could. But even that was an exploration phase for them, because how to get used to every feature in their own tablet and their computer itself was a task, because being in CBSE, we are not very much into the technology culture, even though 21st century skills demand that out of them. It takes little time to move out of that comfort zone and adapt to the requirements of the 21st century learning needs. So there came the challenge, but with the training, the teachers rose to the occasion. They learned how to share screen, how to prepare PPTs, how to make the learning differentiated in the classroom. They started looking out for the worksheets. They started looking out for polls to be taken through the Google, through the Google classrooms. These were all possible only because the teachers felt the need of the hour, and that's how they were adapting. And for the smaller kids, we found that it was not very easy for them to kind of quickly meet the needs of time. So we felt that they need little more. That's when we went into the Seesaw learning platform. It's an American-based technology, and we train the teachers. And the most beautiful part here is that teachers who were willing to learn a little more than what is given to them, they went exploring the Seesaw features thoroughly, and they started teaching the teachers, and the entire kindergarten and the primary school are now thorough with the Seesaw features. And believe me, every week from the Tripunithara school alone, I have 1,200 odd activities highlighted per week. So it's not only the teachers, it is the children, it is the parents, it's the guardians who are actually exploring the Seesaw and enjoying every learning activity that happens through the Seesaw. So the children are engaged correctly. They are able to use the Seesaw learning platform very effectively, so that the learning is done in a more differentiated way. It's just not the teacher based. It is a lot to do with the students. And another thing that we looked at is the assessment. Rather than just go by the rote approach, we are getting into a lot of collaborative way of doing the assessment. So we are giving a lot of collaborative group projects. So it gives an opportunity for the students to interact with students of similar interest, and also to look at how we tap on each person's strengths here. So in a team, how one person is an organizer, one person is a content builder, so these are the traits that we are looking at with the children, and that is happening very effectively, because children have come to know that this is my strength. Okay, I can call for a meeting, I can organize this, so the children's skills are tapped here, and we are able to recognize that the children have a greater potential in them and are able to do their best through this opportunity given to them. And the second thing that I can see through this collaborative approach is that children are going beyond books. There's a lot of research the children are getting into. There's a lot of conversations the children are getting into, and they are actually looking around them now. They are just not confined to the teacher, the board, and the classroom. They have started looking around, So now you can see that the kids identify trees around them, identify every wall of different colors around them, So this kind of an approach is something which kind of come handy. So even though people will say that, oh, we are going through a situation which is kind of unavoidable, but as a school we can see that we have taken the best advantage of the situation to make learning a lot more effective and lot more, it can say that to the needs of the children, so that's what I would say. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, I think congratulations to you and your teachers also for using this as an opportunity to, I think there's a lot of reskilling has gone in teachers, and at the same time, we found a very optimum path for students to, develop more different skills, which were, in the physical system in some form, but yes, now in the online system it's there. And I think this approach of having a different platform called Seesaw for younger children versus the older ones is a very great decision, I would say, for your school. Your school is taken because rightfully so, that there is a different format in each of these students are expected to learn, and I think it's I mean, I personally kind of congratulate you for taking that decision where you've taken two different, softwares for different category of students, because that's really a good step, I would say. And yes, so there seems to be like a lot of action that happened in April and May in terms of school management, carving out the timetables, and choosing of a platform, training of teachers, training the trainers. So this is important to put that conversation in front of the parent group and a lot of other groups, because the behind the scenes story is a little untold right now. So through this conversation, I think that kind of effort that has gone in before you made it live and available to the students and the parents is kind of I think I appreciate that part of it, where we've been able to set that out. So if coming back to how we are sort of now, what did you, when you were implementing this, did you kind of get any kind of resistance from parent groups or teacher groups in terms of the whole implementation thing, that the first of all launching and then the implementation?
I'll take that up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's already covered, where the teachers' open-minded nature was appreciated, and their sense of adaptability, and the sense of responsibility to reach out to students. I think that has surmounted all those fears of teachers to do the needful, to ensure that they are relearning, unlearning, relearning, and getting equipped to face the current scenario. So in terms of resistance, I would say the percentage would be perhaps 1% who, or 5% who had to be coaxed and encouraged, to be given that support that they will do well. But on the whole, people were up and about. Let's get this going. We need to reach our students. Yes, there would have been a certain difficulty on the part of parents. It's going to be a different scenario. How effective it is going to be, I think we took it in good stead, where teachers became very creative. They were, I would use the word again, very adaptive, to come forward to excite students with the learning engagements over the virtual platform. So resistance on a minimal note, but then I wouldn't deny that there was no resistance. But it's something that we could overcome with the positive synergy that we could muster, both from the parent side and the teacher side, and students naturally fell into place. It's a blessing in disguise on the whole, to see what is the other medium of learning apart from the very basic classroom limited form of teaching and learning, which we should appreciate. There are a whole lot of pluses here. We also need to understand that as we move forward, the extent of the facility that is limited to the school has grown beyond proportions, where students are all over, not just within the city. Some of them are across other states. Some of them would be abroad attending classes. So it is something very unique, where from your own homes you are able to do your schooling, which when we are out of the COVID-19 restrictions, we should keep in mind what are the positives that we have gained through this whole exercise, and ensure that we are adopting such good measures in our teaching practices and learning engagements. So a whole variety of, perhaps if you look at it, the home itself is a big laboratory, a learning space that has been created for the child. You know, if you want to display your pets, you want to display your creativity, display your talents, your passions, there's a whole lot that could be done. Except perhaps we do not have our typical labs for the subjects physics, chemistry, biology, but then there are new laboratories that are created, and we should also understand the pluses here, where there are initiatives where parent expertise come on board at times to talk to students, to enlighten them on various subjects and real life applications of knowledge.
Right.
Subject experts coming and talking to the students from various walks of life.
Right.
So just wanted to highlight these pluses.
Yes.
And of course, the minus part is there, where we are not able to come face to face and have our social interactions and say, I think we will surmount that also soon.
Right. So I think the thing is like you will continue all these good practices and processes that have got developed. So in the best interest of both teachers and students as the schools open, which is a very positive thing. So just one of the last questions, like you all have been, using Curious Times, the students have been, help us know what is like, what is that you like about Curious Times, help our readers know about it, our viewers know about it, and what else should we be doing?
Vimla, you would like to take that up and then I'll add on?
Yeah. We, I mean, great. Curious Time is certainly a great platform for children's expressions, and also the schools, the creativity to be expressed in various forms. I mean, they are given an opportunity to kind of highlight their best practices and what the children can offer. It's a very good platform. That's what we have seen it as. And every time, I think I came to know about Curious Times through Miss Nalini, where every time she saw some work by the students, and she would say that, my student is there. So this is what actually the whole, the stakeholders of the school, whether it is parents or teachers or anyone for that matter, will be looking at if our school is highlighted there, or if our children are highlighted. But personally, I would say that, for me, more than highlighting a school or an individual, it is an effort to reach out to the educational community and to see that what are the best things that we could best practices that we could share with each other as schools. That is what I appreciate about the Curious Times, because if you look at the people's perspective about things around them will change, will vary. But as educators, what we are seeing about Curious Time is that you are making that effort to share all the good practices around you in the field of education. So it is an indirect way of conveying, which we understand, and we are able to see that. Okay, so great job, and continue to do that. Keep tapping the potential in the children and keep exploring the various opportunities for all the children across the country. That is what I would say. Okay, thank you.
So adding on to that, yes, the whole concept of voice, the choice of students and the expression of students and teachers is a great forum to come about in terms of the Curious Times magazine and the whole concept of what you stand for. Yes, we have to share good practices among schools, and I'm sure Curious Times would be a place to bridge these knowledge sharing aspects between schools, bringing schools together. I think that would be a great responsibility that you have willingly taken up to see what is being done all across the country and perhaps abroad. And we look forward to getting connected with other schools on collaborative efforts, on projects. It could be to have a greater understanding of how culturally we are, adapting and handling various issues in the society. It would, I'm sure there's a great future for Curious Times, and it's a brilliant concept to bring schools together and share a wonderful purpose of enlightenment and discovering ourselves. So great job, I should say, giving that platform for children to exhibit what they want to, highlight of themselves. Please continue with the lovely work that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, sir, last things I've taken a lot of your time. Uh, we want to, from Curious Times, we want to wish you and your faculty a very happy Teachers' Day. We wish them a lot of success in what they're doing, and we kind of really we are pleased to share their knowledge and success on this special day with everybody else. And really, artist, congratulations to all of you, and a very happy Teachers' Day to all of you.
Thank you so much, and our wishes to the whole teaching community and the best examples, along with many other people, especially the health sector, the government sector. Never give up, keep going strong, and we will ensure that we will come through this whole setback and give hope and great strength to our students. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy Teachers' Day to all of you.
Wishing you the same, wishing all the teaching community the same.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.